What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scarborough Fishing, and today I want to specifically talk about swim jigs. The few that I've been testing out and the few that I've found that works really well for me inside of this lowland reservoir where there is a ton of hydrilla. And I mean so much you won't believe it. So first I want to talk about the swim jigs themselves, then I want to talk about trailers, and then we'll talk about equipment. I'm also going to talk about color in the midst of it all, some of my favorites, some that I don't have any luck on, and such like that. So to get started, I want to go ahead and talk about just your standard old weed guard swim jigs. There's two that I found that I really enjoy out of the few that I've been testing out. Now I'm always testing out more, I'm always willing to test out more. These are just the ones that I have. And my favorite out of the guards, those little weed guards that they have, has to be the 6th Sense Divine Swim Jig. This thing is absolutely incredible when it comes to coming through weeds. Now all of these I've put on a little clasp, which I will have to say does gather weed through right here, with some, especially with some of this hydrilla that I have in through here. It will get clogged up, but that's what I choose to use because I was trying to switch them out quickly to figure out what works best instead of just spending 2 or 3, 5, 7 days out here. I have spent a couple days trying to record this video, and unfortunately through technical difficulties, through new equipment, it's just been really difficult for me. So hopefully this will turn out pretty well. Now this 6th Sense Divine works really well with that tapered head. And another one that worked well because of the tapered head is the Thunderhawk mouse head. This thing also works really well. Both of them have that real slender head with that eye hook in the front that's positioned lateral with it. This thing works great when it comes to pulling in through these weed guards. It works absolutely amazing. The weed guard works pretty well, and one of the reasons why I like a weed guard, and you see where this one's just been absolutely pulled back, is because when a fish actually goes to bite it, that weed guard is going to pull down and it's going to put a little bit of pressure back on this hook. Now one of the problems that I found with the Thunderhawk is that little hook right there, when it gets pulled, when it gets stuck inside the fish and you actually go to pull it in, I found that sometimes it does pull off. The fish actually do be able to shake it out easier than they can the Divine. And you can see the Divine is a much stouter hook, and it also feels like it's a little more sticky to me. Of course you can also fix this by taking a file and filing it down and getting it to be just as sticky as you want, but right out of the box my choice would be the Divine. Now if you're coming through incredibly thick cover, two that I like is the Keitech Swim Jig. Of course I have a Keitech swim bait on the back of this because you can trx-pose this. The Keitech is made out of just an incredible silicone skirt that is just looks amazing in the water. Screw lock, it's not as good as like an owner screw lock or 6th Sense screw lock or something along those lines, but it's still a good screw lock. And what I like about this is that little hook right there, you can trx-pose it, and then it looks absolutely great. I got this one paired with a Keitech and Tennessee shad because to me that it looks amazing. And another one that I really like, and this one I almost had a 3 to 4 pounder on it. It was absolutely great. She shook it off just because I use 1/2 ounce, is the axel. Now one thing I like about this axel, and I'll take this off here and show you, is not only does it do this way, it also has a little bit of back and forth. So while that swim bait's making it shudder in there, this does amazing. I got it paired with the 6th Sense Divine, what is it down through here? Yeah, 6th Sense Divine Swim Bait. And this is just great. I love the pairing. I love the two put together. It is absolutely amazing. So the one that I would have to give a thumbs up, my absolute favorite, is 6th Sense, because their Divine Swim Jig is just great. And so these are the 4 that I've really been using, that I've really been testing out, that I've really enjoyed, absolutely enjoyed. And that Divine has to be my favorite right there, without a doubt, because sometimes the hookup ratio on these trx-posed ones, it doesn't feel like it's all there to me. And I understand that the swim bait will move out of the way. I love that exposed jig hook. I just do. It makes me feel I have more confidence. It makes me feel like I have a better hookup ratio than one that is trx-posed. I love that exposed jig hook. And with that weed guard, this is just a killer in the water. And so I really have, I'd say 4. Let me go ahead and get out the other one down here. I'd say 4 actual swim baits I use on the back of these. And so there's about 3 colors that I use, but with these I really only use about 4. And so my first choice above anything else would be a Keitech. A Keitech swim bait is just absolutely killer when it has a real wide paddle feel to it, and then the head starts to shimmy a little bit. Absolutely amazing. And you can't just beat a Keitech style swim bait, whether it's one of those Rage Tails or Guggen Squads. Just a Keitech style swim bait is just, it's unbeatable to me. Is one of the best. Another one I really like is a Largo Shed, and I like this one for multiple reasons. One, it does have a good shimmy in the water. And 2, if you notice, there's this little, right down here, there's this little extra part to the tail right there. And if you rip it off, and I was noticing this yesterday, if you rip it off, it really has a real wide wobble. That tail kicks further. So that's something you can also like use with warmer water. When it gets to be a lot warmer and you're really trying to burn it down through there, rip that little second piece off right there, and you'll have a ton more action out of this swim bait. So that's definitely great. Not to mention they look amazing. And one that I'm really starting to get to know and really love is this Divine swim bait from 6th Sense. This is a really good, strong, thick swim bait. This is in their Pro Shad color. Everything I use, I try to either use a Pro Blue, Red Pearl, and this Pro Shad gets it down pat and looks great. It really does. This is their 4.4. I prefer to use anywhere from, you know, a 4.4, 4.8, a 4-inch. I really like those. Anywhere around that size just works really well out here where I'm at. Not to mention, in a lot of these weeds, it's hard for them to see what's going on. You don't have a lot of flash, you don't have a lot of vibration, not making a lot of noise with these swim jigs. So a bigger presence works great when you're pulling these in through the weeds. And another one I want to talk about is the River to Sea D-Walker. This is probably one of the most, by far, toughest swim baits you will get. And this thing is super rigid. Already comes ready to be trx-posed. I even have one on what I've been using, and it has a belly channel. It has a slot up here for the hook. This thing is an amazing swim bait. I only have the 100mm. I have some of the 120 coming in, and I really want to switch this out for the 120 because I really want to get a bigger presence on this thing. But this has been a killer in through here. And so the 3 colors that I really use is I'll either use a pearl white, just a straight up pearl white swim bait. When I'm using something that is a white with chartreuse, that's just always a killer because it just looks great and they've been eating it non-stop. Another color has been the Pro Blue Red Pearl. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to say that right, but a Pro Blue Red Pearl is absolutely amazing color. It looks great on top. It swims well. It looks just like a shad, and it really does. And now another color that I really like to use is the Tennessee shad. That color is just amazing around through here because, well, I'm also low bias. I'm a Tennessee boy. This color works great. So those are my 3 main colors that I've been using that have really done me well. One color I've been trying to use is the black and blue. I don't have a lot of confidence in black and blue. I just don't. People tell me all the time that black and blue is where it's at and works absolutely amazing. I unfortunately don't have a lot of confidence in black and blue. I've tried, and I'm going to keep trying, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in it. And now, when it comes to equipment, what I've been using is the Shimano Sellus pole. It has a good bit of tension to the end of it, but hits the plank pretty quick. Like, it hits the plank pretty quick within this rod. And so it works pretty well for my jig pole. I want to say some of the problems that I've been having keeping them stuck has been a pole issue, to where this pole is just not stout enough for what I pair this rod up with the Shimano SLX, the HG, that's the 8:1 gear ratio. This thing it's the 8.2, sorry, 8.2, I just saw it. It is just a phenomenal, it's very smooth, works very great. It's a workhorse. This is the one I pulled, that 4.1 PB that I have on a chatterbait. This is an absolute great rod and reel combo. The only thing about it is if you're one of those that has one typical speed while reeling, you just have that one speed that you go for, you might want to consider going down to like a 7.1 or 6.4. Those will probably work better for you, but I really try to pay attention to how fast I'm actually going. I apologize if there's wind noise. This wind's been driving me crazy right through here. It just doesn't stop where I live. It is non-stop. That's one of the reasons why I've been having trouble getting this video out. But that's what I've been using. That's really what I've been testing out here lately, especially with all this hydrilla. And so, pretty much, let's get out there and see if we can catch a couple more. Here's one, boys. There she is. I flipped up under there where it's real dark. She ate it up. I mean, look, she choked on that thing. Let's see if we can get her out real quick. Apologize for the wind. I'm gonna try to get you out of the wind real quick. Beautiful she is. She just choked that divine swim bait right there. Now, I didn't have plans to stay out here very long because today is Mother's Day. I do have some obligations, but I wanted to make sure that I did come out and show you that this is my choice of swim bait. You're absolutely gorgeous, darling. Thank you. She was sitting in the shallows. Let's see if we can